What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's going to be on with me today. She was a team reporter for the Pelicans and the Saints. Now does PR work for the St. Jude's. Her name is Caroline Gonzalez, and she is here to talk about her why of getting into the media space, but also her why of getting into sports. She also played basketball in college at Loyola University, New Orleans. So, Caroline, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much for having me. I know that sports media is a vast group of people, and we are all trying to do the very similar things. And you have a great attitude about it, and I appreciate your hustle. So thanks so much for having me on.
No, no doubt. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you too. And listen, my first question to you is the same as it always is with everybody that's on here, and that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why of getting into sports and also doing media?
Yeah, it's a great question. I got into sports because essentially the easy answer is from an early age, I had somebody come to a career day at my school in the sixth grade, and he worked for the Dallas CBS affiliate station. And he told us that he got to talk about sports for a living. And as somebody who was playing sports and had no idea or interest on what they wanted to do in school, I thought, hey, you know what? That sounds like a good idea to me. You're getting paid to talk about sports. Like,
Right,
yes, please, I will take a number. I want to be in that
right.
field. So
Mm,
that's kind of how I got interested in sports reporting. But really, my mentor, my role models, kind of all rolls into one when it comes to the conversation about sports, and that is my family. And that's kind of my why as well. My two older brothers. We have a 10 and 7 year age gap between
mm,
us, and they were my superheroes growing up. I went to their high school basketball games. They were always playing in the driveway with teammates, and I wanted to be just like them. And we're all tall folks. I'm the shortest person in my family at 6 foot.
mm.
My brothers are 6'8" and 6'4", and so people hated sitting behind us in church, but love having us on their basketball team. And that wanting to be like them really was my why early on, and has continued to be my why just for family and to make them proud. And that's what I continue to try to do. And I think my why has evolved over my time in my career and through life. I
Sure.
think all of our whys evolved, and what our interests are evolved. And so I'm just kind of holding space to give myself grace and understanding to know I might not have it all figured out, because none of us do.
Right,
And
right.
every new job, every new interest is leading me to exactly what it's supposed to be leading me to. So
Mm, what an incredible answer. What a incredible start to this conversation. I love that.
thanks,
If
thanks.
I'm not, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, just correct me if I'm wrong, but Coleyville, Texas is where you're from, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Which
so it's Colleyville, but yes, good
Colleyville.
research. Yeah,
Got
Colleyville.
you,
Yeah.
got you. Colleyville, Texas, like 20 some miles out of Dallas, Texas, something like that. Now I have family in Texas. That's why I mentioned that because I have family in Houston. Y'all got a lot of tolls up there. I'm just let y'all know. Y'all got a lot of
For
tolls.
sure. For sure.
That's just too many tolls. I don't even like driving around there for sure. That's for sure. But I always ask every Texas person that is from there, is Whataburger overrated?
Oh, that is a tough question. I would
Hmm.
say if it was pre 2014,
Hmm.
no. But I do think Whataburger has changed a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe my palate has changed a little bit. Who's to say? Who's to
Who's to
say?
say? Who's to
But
say?
oh, this is really going against the Lone Star State. But I do think at this point in time, it is overrated. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Whataburger.
That's okay. That's all right. Listen, you down there in New Orleans now. Now that's the his and before I get to the next question, I just recently went to New Orleans this past February to cover the Super Bowl. It was
Yep.
my first time in New Orleans.
Yeah.
uh, the best place to try food or get food ever that I've ever been
Oh
to.
yeah.
And this is somebody that went to college in Atlanta, so I know about the South. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and they got some good food in Atlanta, Georgia, but nothing like New Orleans. Nothing like the
No,
504 area code. Nothing like that.
no, no.
So I'm a huge fan of New Orleans now, and that place, and some of the jambalaya, the gumbo I tried, the alligator I tried. They even had a burger on a donut, which was
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
I've never even heard of that before I got there. But New Orleans definitely has my heart now for sure. So yes, I got you. And the beignets was pretty good too. So yes, no doubt.
Beignets, and you can't forget about the etouffee. Yeah, I tell people all the time I gained my freshman 15, and then I gained an additional New Orleans 15 on top of that because I thought crawfish etouffee was healthy. I was like, hey, there's rice in it. Like, clearly,
Mm-hmm.
this is a healthy dish.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler, it was not a healthy dish, and I failed my conditioning test 5 times my freshman year.
I totally understand that, Caroline. I
Yeah.
totally understand that. That's what's up. I love that. Well, let's talk about it. You went to Loyola University for New Orleans. Were there any other schools that you were considering? I mean, obviously, you're coming from Texas, growing up in Texas, and then you make the jump to New Orleans. Were there any other school that you were considering?
I was considering a few schools, but it was Loyola as soon as it came into the picture was always the front runner for me, especially or mainly because of the Jesuit education that they provide.
Hmm.
My mom went to Boston College, and so she was always talking about Jesuit education as I was growing up and I was going on my college visits. And as I said earlier, I really didn't care about school, and so that kind of went in one ear and out the other.
Hmm.
But my parents really focused on the education piece of me being a student athlete, and they really didn't care where I played. They just wanted to make sure I got an education, and that was a non-negotiable for my parents. And so as soon as Loyola came into the picture, I knew New Orleans was someplace that would be pretty fun to go to college in.
Hmm.
And then as I got to know Loyola, as I got to know their student teacher ratio, and of course their Jesuit values, I fell more and more in love with it. And I don't think I really knew what Jesuit values were until
Right.
maybe 2, 3 years after I graduated, when
Hmm.
I realized that I was a well-rounded person and that I did have well-rounded values and I could hear both sides of an argument, and conversation, and have healthy dialogue. And so I really appreciate Loyola for its education, but also, of course, my time there playing basketball. We were able to get 4 rings during my time there. So I have 4 rings sitting around my house somewhere.
Hmm.
And we made it to the national tournament my freshman year and made it to the Elite Eight, which is the first time a team had done that, I think, in a decade. And so, man, I miss my teammates. I miss the camaraderie, but I loved my time at Loyola New Orleans.
Yeah, one of the years I saw y'all went like 27-4, which was crazy. I mean, that's a pretty damn good percentage of winning a lot of games. That had to be a pretty fun year. I think another year I saw y'all went 23-8, just doing my background research and stuff like that. I mean, winning 50 games in 2 years, that's pretty impressive. No question about it. But yeah, I wanted to follow up by asking this particular question because I wanted to ask some favorite questions. And
Okay.
I want you just to give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay. So here we go.
Okay. Uh-oh, rapid fire. Here we go.
Yeah. Favorite meal you like to cook.
Ooh, chicken piccata.
Okay. I think you're the first. And I've done about 300 plus episodes, Caroline. Done through about
Yeah.
300 plus episodes. You're the first one that's ever said chicken piccata. Which
Chicken piccata or fried fish tacos.
Okay, so you do know when I pull up to New Orleans, I'm gonna have to hit you up for that. For sure, no, I'm just saying, I'm gonna have to do that. That's gonna have to be a solid. I love that.
Listen,
I'm a,
I appreciate the respect, but I know you can find better food in New Orleans. That's just my favorite food to cook, but I know that there's better chicken piccata and
oh
fish
for
tacos
sure.
out there for sure.
I'm for sure. Not to diminish what you're doing though.
No, I know, I know. Trust me, I'm no New
Yeah,
Orleans chef, so it's all
right,
good. I don't
right.
take any criticism from that.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But they do got some good food there. That's for sure. Favorite concert you've ever attended.
Ooh, I would have to say the War and Treaty. It was a
Mm,
very small concert in Austin, Texas. My brother and I actually thought that we were in the wrong place, but it is a country music duet. Then I'm not usually a
Mm,
country music fan, but they have some soul to it and some gospel to it, and some
okay.
really strong voices. And so, yeah, I think the War and Treaty was my favorite concert.
That's what's up. I'm a huge I like all genres. I'm a huge R&B person though. The Weeknd is probably my favorite concert. I'm a huge Weeknd fan for
Nice.
sure. So I loved his concert. Seen him twice. I had the privilege of doing that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Mm, I love Boston. I really do love
Mm.
Boston. I love the city of Boston. In the summer when it's not cold. But yeah, I'd say downtown Boston is probably one of my favorite places to visit.
I would definitely put that on the bucket list. I have not been to Boston yet, but I
Gotta
definitely
do
would
it.
love to go. I mean, I'm a huge sports person. They got rich sports history there, but they also have great history there as well that I would love to explore. But I would say my favorite place that I've ever traveled to, Jamaica, no question.
Haven't been there
Um,
yet. Need to check out the Bahamas.
you definitely do. It's a beautiful scene. Food was great. The beaches was great. People was really nice. The weather was beautiful too. So yeah, it was a nice vibe. I had a chance to go there on a cruise last year, so that was pretty awesome. We're sports people, so I'm going to ask you this two-part sports question. Okay, so
Sure.
favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite
Mm.
sport you like to attend in person.
Favorite sport I like to watch on TV. Is it okay if they're the same answer?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Football is both my favorite sport to watch. Well, I should say, yeah, I could say all football, but NFL football is my favorite to watch on the couch and also in person.
Okay, all right, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. All right, now you played basketball. Now,
I
did
know it always
you?
gets people.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. What other sports did you play growing up?
I played volleyball. I did a little bit of swimming, a little bit of soccer, a little bit of tennis. It was very
Mm,
clear that my lateral speed was not there for tennis. It was very clear that my vertical wasn't there for volleyball. And so basketball
mm.
just kind of, took the cake.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. Now, as a football person, are you a Cowboys fan or a Pelicans?
I am a Saints fan for sure. Yeah. Who
Mm.
Dat Nation is, it's going to be an interesting year.
Well, I'm glad you said interesting. That was not
Yeah.
that was not the adjective I had in my mind, but for sure interesting. We'll go with that. That's for
Yeah.
sure. We got to see who gonna be quarterbacking that team for the Saints for sure. But I do like Alvin Kamara. I think he's pretty
hmm
good, pretty special
Yeah,
of a player.
I like Alvin. I think Demario Davis is a steadfast leader, and he speaks
Hmm.
very highly about Kellen Moore. And so I
Hmm.
think if somebody like Demario is going to speak that highly about someone, people are
Sure.
going to listen. And so now I think all eyes are on Kellen Moore, and he has the respect of the team. And
Mhm.
it's kind of up to him to do what he wants with it. And so obviously he has a good
Absolutely.
track record. I'm excited to see what he does as head coach.
Yes, he does. Obviously, going from what he's been with the Cowboys, been with the Chargers. Was he with the Eagles too? Or no? Was he?
Yeah, he went he
Yeah, he's
went to
with the
the
Eagles.
he won the Super Bowl last year with the Eagles.
Yes, he
Yep.
did. Yeah, so he's bouncing all around. So hopefully he does bring some good luck down there to the Bayou for sure. Last of the favorite place that you like to eat out at.
Oh, great
yo, yo,
question.
your eyes rolled in the back of your.
Anytime food comes into play, I'm like, oh my gosh, how long do we have?
Hmm.
Favorite place in New Orleans or favorite place like ever?
Well, it could be. Give me New Orleans. Give me both. Why not? Why not both?
Okay. Um, I would have to say Saba in New Orleans. It is, I believe, an Israeli Middle
Mm,
Eastern restaurant in New Orleans on Magazine Street. So I
sure.
really like their food. And then all time, I don't know. All time is too much. I can't do all time. I'll just do New Orleans for now.
Okay, okay. We'll roll with Saba, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. I mean, New Orleans is such a hotbed for a lot of big time sporting events. I mean, obviously, the Super Bowl was just there. WrestleMania was going to be there too. They just moved that though to Vegas and moved that off. So obviously, I know there's more sporting events that's going to come there because that was my first time, but certainly not my last time in New Orleans. And obviously, if you're there, I'm definitely going to have to say what's up to you. We'll throw a ball out, play pig, horse, something. We'll have to do something.
Something. Yeah, we'll figure it
That's for
out.
sure. Yeah, no doubt. I love that. Let's talk about your day to day. Obviously, it probably differentiates from the time that you spent as a reporter for the Saints and for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
I kind of know that kind of lifestyle because me being a sports journalist, working with different publications and doing high school and college, no 2 days are ever the same when you're a
No.
reporter. Every day is different. You're doing something different, writing something different, or reporting on something different. But now you're in a role where you're doing PR and you're kind of behind the scenes, as you said. Talk to me about your day-to-day operations working with St. Jude, as you just worked with a golf tournament, you said, the FedEx Cup. Yeah, talk to me about your day-to-day operations of what you do, when do you start, and what's basically your role.
Yeah, it's similar to reporting in a lot of ways in that you're kind of always on. In PR, I don't have to put as much makeup on all the time to be on in front of a camera. I just have to be on and accept a
Mhm.
phone call from somebody, but you do kind of always have to be on, and it is a lot more behind the scenes. But I love what I do now because I get to bring the St. Jude mission to people where they are, and I get to tell
Mhm.
the beautiful stories that exist within St. Jude to the
Mhm.
general public. And for me, that is the meaningful work that I was looking for, really originally when I was getting in sports reporting, but especially as I was leaving sports reporting, I wanted to create a net positive on the world. I wanted to create some sort of impact. And I feel like I'm doing that now in my storytelling esque role in PR. And so, as you mentioned, we just finished up the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis.
Mhm.
That is the first stop of the FedEx Cup playoffs
Yeah.
for the PGA Tour, and it was a great time in Memphis. It was hot, obviously. The
Mhm.
the humidity keeps following me around, but it was great to be able to introduce players to St. Jude patients and really see the days of both the athlete and the patient brighten up. I think a lot of the times when you think about athletes going to visit children and interacting with children, oftentimes we think that the athlete is making the day of the child, and in this instance, that is absolutely true.
Right.
However, what I've seen in my time in this role is I'm also seeing athletes be just as impacted as the children, as the patient families. And so it's a beautiful thing to see. I really enjoy the work that I'm doing now, and um I feel so privileged to be able to have had the room to figure it out, because sports reporting was my dream job for a really long time until it wasn't, and then I didn't know who I was. I mean, talk about identity crisis after you're done with playing college basketball and then done with your dream job. I didn't know who I
Right.
was or what I wanted to do.
Wow.
And now I'm very grateful to be able to, work in this job and work in this role and be able to share the beautiful existence that is St. Jude with the general public.
I love that answer. I do, but I have to ask a follow up with that because when you said that, when you were done with sports reporting, and a lot of people transition to other different type of roles and other different type of genres of whatever they want to do. How long did it
Yeah.
take you to kind of just say rest in peace sports reporting, and then have that mindset to go? Because sometimes it's kind of hard to step away when it's your dream, right? When it's your dream. How much
Absolutely.
did you have to wrestle with that in order to go on to do the PR role?
Well, I would say probably 2 years in total. It was
Mm.
probably 6 months to 8 months of me coming to terms with the fact that it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. And then I tried something else. I tried a different career that I am not going to discuss for about 3 months, and that was not for me.
Right.
And then I moved home for a little bit and just kind of recalibrated and got to know myself and listened to a lot of podcasts and discovered that we can do hard things. And what
Okay.
does listening to yourself mean? What does checking in with yourself mean? What does giving yourself grace mean? And through all of that, I was able to find a lot of empathy for myself, a lot of grace for myself, but then also the road to PR and storytelling in a different way than what I had thought about storytelling before. And so, yeah, I would say it probably took me about 2 years.
I appreciate that transparency, Caroline. I really do. Thank you for that. It's a great segue though, into this next question, which is mental health and work-life balance.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as a reporter, I've seen it many times. Reporters' mental health breaks down because you hear words like burnout, overworked, underpaid, a lot of times synonymous with our industry. You also hear about work-life balance, right? Because sports and news never stop. We're
Right.
365 days a year, 66 on a leap year, and we keep going all the time. And we don't work
Yeah.
the conventional business hours of 8 to 4,
Right.
9 to 5. And that's the main thing, right? So you miss a lot of graduations, celebrations, time with family and friends. Now, I would love to ask you, how do you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind being around you or hanging out with you, but your friends and family certainly would say the same about you. But you also need some time for yourself, Caroline. So,
Right.
how do you balance that and still keep your mental health strong?
Well, I think working for two professional teams will teach you a master class in setting boundaries. And it didn't teach me while I was there, but it taught me in the days when I was done the importance of setting boundaries and the importance of setting those boundaries early on, because you can't go back, but you can start and, decide what you want to do and what boundaries you want to set from there. But um, I have a fantastic therapist that I love so much.
Mm.
Her name is Cindy Austin.
Okay.
And
Shout
she
out
works for
Cindy.
Austin Empowered in Texas. Yeah, she is
Hmm.
fantastic. And she has really helped me find my inner authority, find my voice, and find my boundaries, because I was burnt out. I was exhausted. I was underworked, overpaid, all the things. No, underpaid, overworked. Yeah. And I learned really quickly the effect that that had on me and how fatigued I was and how I wasn't listening to my own thoughts or my own body. And so now I feel very good in the fact that I am grounded in speaking my mind, setting boundaries, and listening to that inner contraction. As soon as you feel that inner contraction in you, paying attention to those feelings, because I think
Right.
oftentimes we ignore it. Um, and I think those things have been really helpful for me. So, it's a journey. I mess up every day. I, let go of some boundaries someday and, put some others up some other day. But really, it's just making sure you're doing what's best for you while also being careful and considerate of people and their feelings around you. But ultimately, looking out for you is really all you can do and all you can control. So,
Love that answer. I really do. It's a terrific answer. It's a hard question to ask, Caroline. It really is because we're never going to 100% have it.
right,
As reporters and journalists and really any occupation, but we're dealing with journalism here because that's where and PR and communications because that's our specialty. But um, you just never have it 100%. I know for me, I moved away and I didn't have any family around me. That definitely affected my mental health. I'm a huge family person, but not having any family around really kind of affected me at first. And then the different hours, being in a town where you don't know anybody and, it's only 3% black people, African Americans,
yeah,
it was really tough at first, and everybody struggles with mental health in different ways. But I love the fact that you talked about therapy. Not a lot of people talk about going to therapy or seeing a therapist. At least they didn't used to. They talk about it more now, more so
right,
now than ever, but they didn't talk about it before. And I love the transparency that you brought up with that. And people need to go to somebody that is a professional, right? In my opinion, and you can and please disagree with me if I'm wrong, but I'll say you have to go to people that are outside of your family and friends because sometimes they tell you what you want to hear instead of
hmm,
things that you need to hear
yeah,
and should hear from a
yeah.
professional. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think it's kind of like dating. You have to try a few people on to see if it's the right fit for you. Like, don't go to
Sure.
a therapist just because it is, the first person you picked under your health insurance. And of course, that's a whole other conversation. And there's a lot of hair on that one that I really don't care to
Right,
touch.
right.
But as you are trying to figure out who you see for your mental health, just realize you have as much autonomy in who you decide for your mental health practitioner as you do with any other practitioner. So
Right.
just because they are a recommendation of a friend or a family member or they are covered by your insurance doesn't automatically mean that you have to see them.
Sure.
Obviously, it'd be helpful if you saw somebody under your insurance, but make sure you find somebody who is a good fit for you. I cannot highly recommend therapy enough. I used the word fragile. I was fragile after I quit my sports reporting job. I was fragile. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know who I was. And having a support like the therapist that I had really pulled me out. So I can't recommend it enough.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I would need a therapist alone just to talk about my dating lifestyle, which is non-existent
Right.
at the point. At this point, and most reporters understand what I'm talking about because
Yeah.
obviously, when you're working late hours and long hours, it's very hard to do that. It's very hard
Yeah.
to try to conduct dates and stuff like that, especially if you're also working weekends most of the time as well, because that's when sports happens, evenings and weekends. But again, that's a whole nother podcast episode. So I digress into this next question, which is advice. What is some advice that you would give someone, preferably someone that may be an intern or someone that is just graduated out of college, or just someone that's very curious, that wants to be in the broadcast journalism space or in the PR space? What kind of advice would you give that individual?
Honestly, my experience is very unique to me. I am a 6 foot tall woman with big curly hair, and I think that people sometimes remember me. And unfortunately, that is not the case for everybody. So, what I am going to say, take with a grain of salt. It is not a blanket statement, but what I have found success with is the intangibles. I have found success with handwritten letters,
Mhm.
following up with people the day after you have a conversation with them,
Okay.
reaching out in 3 months to check in on them and their family or whatever they talk to you about. Taking notes on what they've talked about in the past. Is it
Mm.
family? Is it school? Is it whatever? Look on their social medias. Find something that is a connection point for people because people love to talk about them, and let them talk about that. So, as you're navigating these connections, because your network is everything in this industry, as you are
Sure.
navigating these connections, remember those intangible things of being on time, handwritten notes, like all of the things that I don't they don't require any skill, right? They're just kind of the things that they're intangibles. They're like giving a high five to a player. They're helping somebody up off the
Right.
basketball court. Like they're the things that it was always preached to me that college basketball scouts are looking for.
Hmm.
I just kind of carried that through and who I was and kept that going in my professional life. And I think that
Right.
has separated me from other people. Again, I know that I'm tall and it's different world for me than for other people, and I'm a woman and all of that stuff. However, I think the intangibles really can make a difference and make you stand out. And then obviously, be a good worker after that, meet deadlines, all of those things. But I really think it's the intangibles that make you stick out, and small connection points that can make a real difference.
Couldn't agree with you more. Definitely about intangibles. I know I used to substitute teach when I was in Minnesota prior to me getting here to New York, and I'm gonna try to pick that up again here. But one of the things that high school kids used to ask me a lot was, "How do you become a journalist?" or "How do you like being a journalist?" And some of the things that I used to tell them is that one, you got to try everything, write, edit, produce, direct,
Yep,
do everything as much as you can, radio, everything you can in the communication space, because you see what you like and you see what you don't like, and then you try to pursue it with all your passion.
that's exactly
But
right.
then right, you know what I mean? So then number two, the intangibles. When you make people remember you is one of the lines that I used to say. Make people remember you, because
Yep.
everybody is going to have most, well, I should say most people are going to have degrees. There's some people that are very unconventional that get into this business, and shout out to them, no question about
Right.
it. But
Right.
most people are going to have degrees. Most people are going to follow what the line is in order to be in this industry. But you got to stand out. You got to do stuff different. You got to do the intangibles. You got to go the extra mile at times if that's what you want to do, and this is what you want to pursue. And I try to tell the kids that for sure. So I love your take on that. I really do, about the intangibles part.
Yeah, one thing I'd add, Chris, and I talk to young people about this often, is just something that helped me shift my mindset when I was done reporting was, instead of thinking about what you want to do, think about
Sure,
who you want to be. Like, think
sure,
about who you want to be. Like, what does your day to day look like? Are you behind the computer the whole time? Are you in front of people the whole time? Is there a little bit of
right,
both? Are you having conversations and going to happy hours all day, or are you kind of doing more back room conversations? Like, think
sure.
about who you want to be and less about what you want to be, and I think that that will help guide those conversations. And like you said, try everything, do everything, because those interests are going to change. As I said at the top of the call, like, your why, your interests, they are going to change. I know at 18, I thought that I was going to be a sports reporter and that's what I was going to do
For
forever.
sure, for
Um,
sure.
I barely, keep the same thoughts at the beginning of the week as I do at the end of the week. So your interests and everything are going to change, and be okay with that. Just kind of listen to yourself and go with your gut.
I love that. And lastly, to add on to that point, yes, you are 6 feet. Yes, you do have curly hair. Yes, you do stand out. But I think the main reason why you stand out is not because of those features, in my opinion. I think it's because of the work ethic behind of what you do.
Thank
I
you.
mean, don't nobody. Well, it's true. You're welcome because you're a reporter. You've been a reporter for the Saints. You've been a reporter for the Pelicans, and you were picked out of many people who probably apply for that position, and rightfully so. You've done
Yeah.
some incredible work. I've also, seen some of your YouTube stuff as well. So I've definitely done my research on you for sure, and you do a great job at doing the job that you're doing. So it's definitely warranted the attention that you get, and the attention that But I do understand what you're saying when you say yes. There's not many 6 foots out there with hair and like you team reporting. I certainly
Right.
understand that. But you
Right.
do deserve your flowers. And that's one of the reasons why I
Thank
do
you.
this podcast, to be honest, honestly, Caroline, is that people need to know behind the scenes what's going on. A lot of people don't. What they normally see is pretty face like yourself or a handsome guy in front of the TV that's anchoring or reporting. They see the 5, 6, 10, and 11, right? They see
Right.
that on the
Right.
news or they see you reporting, but they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. They don't know what goes on to prepare you for that. They don't know some of the thoughts that you're having. You talked about it, right? You said you have an excellent therapist. You said you was burnt out.
Yeah.
Nobody would know that about you unless they had a
Right.
direct conversation with you.
Right.
And these are real feelings that you're
Hmm.
having. That if people want to join this industry, it's a beautiful industry to be in because there's so many different roles, but you also have to know what you're getting yourself into. And that's why I like to do this kind of podcast to get people to understand that there's many different thoughts and emotions that go into being in these communicative type of roles.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate your work, and thank you for the flowers, but also thank you for your work in this space, because yes, it is sunshine and rainbows a lot of the times. And it is a great gig, but you are going to work hard and you are going to miss holidays and family gatherings and all of those things, which I think people always warn you about, but it's kind of the other stuff about the burnout and sometimes the pay and whatever else that you can forget about. But man, I'm so grateful for that first job. I wouldn't do it over ever. I
Right.
am very, very grateful for that first job and that first experience, for sure.
Absolutely, no doubt. And with that, I want to segue into my game now. It's my interactive game that we're going to play on my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And it's called This or That. So, Caroline,
Okay,
it's the game I like to play with all my guests here on the podcast show. And what it means is I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at if you had to choose? KFC or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
Girl, you on point like a period. That's what I'm gonna say. Right now, you are doing your thing right now. Let's see if we can keep it up. Let's see if we can keep it up.
Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed now. Chicken wings. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor of these two are you gonna put on the wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Barbecue.
Okay. When it comes to your wings, do you want them wet or dry?
Wet.
When it comes to the wings, do you want them bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get messy with it. Okay,
I
okay,
mean, yeah, it's I've never met a hot wing I didn't like.
okay. Now, hey, that's listen. Like James Taylor, you got a friend in me. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Okay, we are off to a great start. Let's keep it rolling. These next five questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So here we go. Which music concert would you rather go to? Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick.
K Dot. I love it. Okay, here we go. They're gonna
Drake's
get
dead.
harder. Ooh, ooh, okay, okay. Drizzy dead for real?
No, he came back a little with Nokia. He came back a little with Nokia. I'll give him
Right,
that.
right. I'll give them that. Okay, they're gonna get harder as we go. Here we
Okay.
go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Rihanna or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Okay. Which music concert would you rather go see? Her or SZA?
Ooh.
I told you they're gonna get harder.
Her.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Final answer.
'Cause you said ooh, and then you kind of took a minute. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure with you, Caroline. Okay, here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Nicki Minaj or Cardi B?
Cardi B.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You made a face like I don't want to see nan one of them. That was your
Yeah,
face right
honestly,
there.
yeah, that was my face. I don't hide my feelings well at all, obviously. I'm honestly not great at music
Hmm.
or rap. Like I'm just not great at those genres. Like some soul, some like retro pop, like some Leon Bridges, that's kind of my speed. But Cardi
Ooh.
B and Nicki
Ooh.
Minaj and SZA and her, like while they are all very talented and I'll listen to their hits. I'm not like, ooh, a new album came out. Like, let me go listen. You know what I'm
So
saying?
are you an R&B dude like myself? Because I like R&B. I'm an
Yeah,
R&B kind of guy. Okay.
yeah.
So
But again,
this
with
last
music, I'm not like looking at the like top hits. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I got two more because I want to ask you two more of these because I'm just
Okay.
curious to see what you would say. The next one though is which music concert would you rather go to, Chris Brown or Usher?
Usher. Ugh.
Okay. 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 Hands down. Usher. I got you. That's what's up. I love that. Now this bonus one I want to ask you. Which music concert would you rather go to? John Legend or Leon Bridges?
Leon Bridges.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. He's pretty good. He's pretty
He is
good.
pretty
Good
good.
job.
Big fan.
Okay. Now we're gonna transition to sports. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch baseball or hockey?
Hockey.
Okay. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
Better than a badmintoner.
You mean badminton?
Yeah, whatever the sport's called. Better than that.
Okay. All right. Do you need the bumpers?
No, I got it. I got it without the bumpers.
Okay. You'd be surprised now. You'd be surprised what
Yeah.
people say on here for sure. Okay. This next one. Do you like desserts?
Desserts? Yeah,
Hmm.
I love all food. I don't discriminate.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to name four categories of desserts. You got to choose one of these to get rid of that you'll never eat again. Okay,
Okay.
so here we go. The first one is grouped together. So it's pies slash cakes.
Okay.
The second one is candy.
Okay.
The third one is cookies.
Okay.
The last one is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
Probably candy.
I would say you on point like a period again because I would have said
Yeah.
the same thing. I would say candy
Yeah.
myself. All right. What's your favorite ice cream?
Cookies and cream
No, it's not.
for sure. Yeah, cookies and cream or coffee.
Wow. Well, that is definitely my favorite ice cream, cookies and cream. Now, I'm not a coffee fan. I don't hate it, but I'm not a fan of that. But my second one would be chocolate chip cookie, though. That'll be my second.
mm, yeah,
So that.
classic.
Okay, yeah. So I definitely got to get the blue if the blue Briars, Oreos, cookies and cream. Okay, you know about it. All right, let's
Yep,
move on.
definitely,
Cool,
definitely.
cool. Okay, so do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, same format. I'm going to name four different brands. You have to choose one of these brands to get rid of. Now, one of the brands is not Cheetos. I'm not going to name Cheetos. Okay,
Okay.
because everybody loves Cheetos.
Yeah, I
The
do love
first
Cheetos.
brand, right? Who doesn't? The
Yep.
first brand is Ruffles.
Okay.
The next brand is Lay's. The
Okay.
third brand is Doritos.
Okay.
The last brand is Pringle. Which one are you getting rid of?
Pringle, probably.
Hmm. Okay, I'm with you on that. Now you don't
Yeah.
have to name the other three, Caroline, but what is your favorite potato chip?
Anything barbecue kettle cooked. Doesn't really matter the brand, but barbecue kettle cooked. I'm cooked.
um, well, listen, we've had a really, really good conversation. You're amazing in more ways than one. Obviously, beauty is there, but it's just proving you're not perfect. That's just all it is.
We
Just
all
proving
have
you're not perfect.
flaws. I had to
We
have a
do.
flaw somewhere.
Well, you did. I wasn't really trying to find it, but I'll be damned if you didn't shout it out. I mean, kettle chips are the third worst chip ever made, in my opinion.
That's
The third
crazy.
worst.
Crazy.
That
Crazy.
you're probably saying to yourself, third, yeah, crazy, right? But let me give you the other two. The other two is salt and vinegar. So,
Mm.
whoever likes salt and vinegar chips, God bless your heart. But they're terrible. Oh, that's just what
Hmm.
it is. And then the worst chip of all time is Funyuns. Whoever
Oh, wow.
made Funyuns needs to just be destroyed
I think
in
you're
the
gonna have
worst
some
way.
haters. I think you're gonna have some haters against that, like,
Yeah.
against that opinion.
Do you like Funyuns?
Yeah, I like Funyuns, and I like, what is the other chip that you just mentioned?
Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar. Yeah, I mean, it zaps your taste buds after, like, 5 chips, but they're good.
Okay, we're gonna have to stick to the wings, Caroline. That's all. That's all good. You did this or that very well, though, so I love that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. These next two questions have to do with top fours. Okay, so the first top four question is called bucket list. I would like
Okay.
for you to give me a bucket list of a top four of events, or, well, I would say in your case, yeah, events that you would like to do in your career that you haven't done yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would say the Masters is definitely up there.
Okay, you'll love
Um,
that. You'll love that.
let's see what other events. Um, I've done I I've done Super Bowl, I've done All Star. Those would be my two additions, but I've done those events. So I'm trying to think. The Masters, maybe like the Iron Man that's in Hawaii. I think that would be kind of cool to like work/attend.
That's different. Yeah, that'll be different.
Yeah. Any like surfing related anything could be cool.
I've tried that.
Um,
I fell on my you know what so many times. So
and
many
then
times.
probably the Olympics, probably the Summer Olympics.
Absolutely. Coming to Los Angeles in 28? No
Yeah,
question. That would be amazing. Now hold on. Was you at the Super Bowl this past year?
I was. I was, yeah.
Wow. It was pretty big time. Obviously, you probably was you at media night or no?
No, I did not. I was not able to attend that.
Okay, because yeah, I was there pretty much all week long. So yeah, media night was crazy with like 6,000 different media people, and then we had a media
Yeah,
party on Tuesday. I don't know if you
yeah.
went to the media party Tuesday or not, but yeah, it was crazy. What event? Where were you then? What event did you do?
St. Jude has a fundraising event the Thursday before the Super Bowl every year with we give out the Pat Summerall Award. Pat Summerall initiated this event and he wanted it to benefit St. Jude, and so that's the event we do every year.
Got you, got you. That Thursday, okay, so that Thursday I went to Nightcap. Do you know
Mm,
what Nightcap is, right?
yeah.
Nightcap, yeah. So I went to Nightcap, but they also had the NFL honors that same night.
Mm,
Uh,
exactly. Yeah.
so yes, I feel you on that. I couldn't get no ticket though, but yes, I definitely feel you on that. That was pretty cool. Okay, that's awesome. The second top four that I have for you is give me a top four of things to do the next time I touch down in New Orleans. Because remember, I only been there just one time, and obviously
Yeah.
I was there covering Super Bowl and working, and I saw the French Quarter a little bit in the
Hmm.
Caesar Sportsbook, which the Caesar Sportsbook, which is further down the street, that little casino that's down there, but I really didn't get a chance to see all of New Orleans. What should I do when I
Yeah.
touch down there?
I would say first go to Turkey and the Wolf and get yourself a collard green melt because
Ooh.
they are a sandwich shop that JJ Redick actually discovered and talked about on his podcast. And I ended up going to Turkey and the Wolf, and they have a collard green melt that I think about pretty much every Thanksgiving ever since I've had it. So
Hmm.
that's one. Go see some live jazz at Preservation Hall. It's got some
Oh my
obviously
God.
deep history, and some
Yeah,
live jazz is definitely, in the cards for New Orleans.
for sure.
Um, let's see, what else would I do in New Orleans? I'd probably go walk around Audubon Park. I think Audubon Park is beautiful and, has some great big oak trees. What's number four? What would I do for number four? I would try to see Branford Marsalis or Terrence Blanchard somewhere in New Orleans. Any sort of live music, whether it's them or Rebirth Brass Band, or I would just get more like all brass, as much brass as you can get during your time in New Orleans.
Hmm.
Music should definitely be two of the four things that you do.
Oh, no question. One of my bucket list things is definitely going to Essence Fest, if you know
Yep.
about that, which happens in New Orleans every single year.
Yeah.
Uh, I do like BB King. I do like Muddy Waters. I do like Kenny G.
There you
When it
go.
comes to some smooth jazz playing, no question about that. I don't know if you know about the Neville brothers. The Neville
Yeah.
brothers, like Aaron Neville. Yeah, yeah, those are some of my cats too that I definitely get down with too. So I definitely love them as well. But yeah, I love music. That's definitely on my bucket list to go. And I just, ooh, I cannot wait to come back there to New Orleans. I cannot wait. That's for sure. I want to ask this next question, and that's advice. We talked about advice you would give, Caroline, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Sure. Just so you know, I have a hard stop at 4, so I do have to go like at 4.
Got you. Got you. Okay, got you.
Do you want me to answer this question, or do
Yeah,
you tell me?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You go ahead. Go ahead and answer it.
Okay. I think the best advice that I have received, again, is like focus on who you want to be, not what you want to be. I think that is going to shape the growth that exists within your life, like who you want to be, and not just in your job, but in your everyday life. Do you want to be somebody that your friends can rely on? Do you want to be the lighthearted person that, a friend comes to in a breakup? Like, who do you want to be? And I think that is going to shape most of your decisions as you get older. And that should be the focus, really, and not what do you want to be, because our roles in what the workforce are so temporary, but who we want to be is our legacy.
I love that. I love that. And I've loved my time talking to you and getting to know your why and why you do what you do. It has been an absolute pleasure, Caroline, and certainly a new fan of yours. Keep doing amazing things out there for St. Jude and also other events that you go on to do as well. And you and I would definitely stay in touch. And I look forward to seeing you down the line.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Take care now. Bye.